Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 41. Today's topic is the situation with me being a proud man and don't give a damn about nobody else. You know, you gotta believe in yourself, be inspired, live a life that you need to live in, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was at the protests, and some people got hurt, some people got killed, but what is it for? You know the situation with me. I got a lot of talk about to say what I have to say on my mind. Although I am the funkable operator of this hip-hop thing. You know what I'm saying? I would not curse, I would not feel very uptight of what I'm doing. I'm showing love and respect and loyalty for everybody in this world. How could I figure out of drinking soda or seltzer water that I really feel is good, but having a cigar without getting cancer? If you do smoke or you don't smoke, sometimes the cancer comes and then later on you just pass away from it. How would I feel the situation what I'm going through? I'm talking about the facts of the life that we all live in from the day you're born and the day you die. There's a lot of situations with me having all the fun and the love, not for drug dealing, getting the job and getting yourself your own life instead of you asking anybody for money. What I recommended is stay positive, think good. You know, sometimes when I bet horses, I'll be losing a lot of money playing horses. And I just, very intense. I vent out my anger when I can't win. You know, I just curse and vent out my anger and say all this crazy stuff. So why would I want to be lonely without even cursing? I just say F this, eat a D or whatnot. I can't even curse on the podcast. You know why? Because my father's watching me. The situation with myself, the situation with everybody else. I'm about that life. And what I recommended is you can never rat your friends out and always keep your mouth shut. This is the Funkadelic Funkable Operator Podcast 41. This is the new episode. Okay? A lot of people are going to respect me. If you don't respect me, you can go yourselves. You know, I ain't trying to curse on this podcast. I don't want to say no more profanity like I did on the other podcast shows. So this is the life that I got to live for my own well-being, who I am today in this hip-hop industry. I don't have to be a famous rapper. You know what time it is. My rhymes are gritty, my rhymes are the shiznit, and believe they stay the shiznit. How many of y'all write y'all rhymes? How many of y'all people wrote your lyrics down on a piece of paper and a pen? I don't have to rap on the phone. I don't have to type my lyrics on the phone. That is whack. Get out of here with that crap. You know what I'm saying? That is pure garbage. The only way I could save a hip-hop file is when I write it down on a piece of paper and a pen and keep writing until my hands start to hurt. Well, I kept writing rhymes. I did 20 albums in the making. Last year, I came out with 2 albums. The Rise of Funkville 20th Anniversary Rock Remix Edition and Rise of Funkville 3, the official A Second Decade After. That video shoot, the photo shoot was located where my grandmother used to live, rest in peace. I had to get somebody to use the phone to reboot what I took the picture 20 years ago. 21 years ago, as I must say. I got a lot of fortunes and fames on my mind. You know, people are not going to respect me. People are going to hate. People are going to suck their teeth at me. They're going to say, who cares? They're going to be like, yo, you tripping, you bugging, you ODing, you're overdoing it. So why would I care? I don't really give a damn if you send me a bottle of liquor. I wouldn't take that because I'm a diabetic and I'm on medication. The reason about what I do in life, I respect everybody. You want to be a nice guy, I'll show you respect. You're not a nice guy, you're evil, you're looking at me hard, you thinking that you're not being legit with me. I don't even want to look at you because in my times I'll look to run away from you. Because you keep bugging me about situations, I will definitely run away from you. You can't, like, people criticize you and take your anger for granted. Life is very short. You know, my mom's always tells me, think before I act. You know what I'm saying? She always tell me that situation. My mom be telling me, think before I act. She told me that all the time. I almost got into a car accident this morning with my pops. How would I figured that? How would I figured about people who just want to be themselves? But they are themselves. The way I see things. The way I walk down the street, somebody asks me for a quarter or $1. If I have it, I'll give it to them. If don't, then forget it. A lot of people are not millionaires. They can't afford to have $1 million in their bank account. They can't afford $1 million because people are going to work very hard and can't make $1 million. You know? It's like their budgets keep growing to make $1 million when people invest in themselves and get what they want. But make sure y'all dues are paid. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to pay your dues every time. Be realistic about yourself. Don't use profanity at people too much. Because some things happen like that. Some people could cause an altercation and people are going to get hurt. Very bad. I've seen a lot of people I heard on the news when they had altercations and they died from it. I've been hearing people and girls get raped and people get shot. And their houses get blown up. That is the most despicable acts that people do when the protests be floating down the street and suckers get arrested. When people get detained from police, that you be restrained in the handcuffs and then you be taken to the precinct and then you gotta go to court for the date you go to court. You know, I was taking a poll in the last Wednesday. I took a poll in the Metro North, not in the subway station, but out it. I got a summons for $25. A summons. Because the cops thinking that I was smoking in the Metro North. But I stayed out of it. I didn't go near the subway station. I just took a poll and I blew it outside. And the cops thought I smoked in it. But why? Why would I ever think I would get a summons from the cops and then the police didn't know what I was doing? And some people are just spiteful. There's a lot of good cops and there's a lot of bad cops and ugly cops. You know what I'm saying? Most cops ain't perfect. I got yelled by police. I got harassed by police. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to tell them to go F themselves. I'm not trying to say that for a fact. Because some police brutality people do. They do a crime they don't even goddamn commit. So why am I worried about that for that type of reason? They'll be thinking that I'm not legit about what I say. I've been emailing people my records and people are not even feeling my joints. But I don't really care about that. That's them. That's their problem. If people don't like to listen to my records, that's their problem. They can't even handle listening to facts of the life. They want to hear gangster rap. They want to hear hip hop from the old school about killing people. They want to take it to the NWA era. You know, the NWA era. Like back in 88 or 89, you know, gangster rap, you know, rappers like Schoolie D, Ice-T, Too Short, you know, that's gangster rappers right there. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of gangster rappers out we have now. Even mumble rappers look like studio gangsters. All these rappers, like Key Glock is a gangster rapper. But every time I hear like rappers like Young Thug, Future, sometimes I'll be hearing their, I can't even understand what the hell they're saying in their lyrics. Because I don't listen to those rappers that much. The beats are very corny, okay? The beats are very weak. You want to be a hardcore rapper, you got to look for a dope-ass sample that you love listening to from the R&B side. Some of these rappers don't rhyme the way they should. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect 50 Cent. I respect Jay-Z. Okay, I respect rappers that died from an altercation. I've been respecting rappers that died from an illness. All these rappers get sick and they pass away. Rest in peace to Amanda Lewis. What do you call her name? Amanda Lewis. You know, she had breast cancer. Who knows about Amanda Lewis? That was on MTV. I remember watching MTV back in the day when I used to live in Pelham Manor. Back in the early 80s. And I was watching MTV Raps. I was watching a lot of good stuff. But how you remember watching videos before they had the YouTube channels? I've been watching hip-hop videos and R&B videos and rock videos way before YouTube. Way before. You can call me a legend if you want to, because I already did 20 hip-hop albums. I got a big catalog of the music that I put my hard work into. Some of the songs that I wrote down that didn't sound pretty good, I didn't feel like putting it on all platforms. There was a couple of songs that I did that kind of whack, but I'm not putting the wackest rap that I did. I did a lot of corny songs, but I tried. You know what I'm saying? Most songs that I did wasn't that good. But I had to put the dopest records that I didn't stutter and didn't mumble and it said anything like the beat was loud and my lyrics were a little lower. You know, some of these rappers do videos in front of bodega stores most of the time. Some of these rappers do the video by the country club or any type of location. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even imagine doing a hip-hop record in the club. But I was looking to do one, and the guard told me to stop recording before he kicks me out the place. But I didn't feel like doing that. I just didn't care. I recorded, and then I got busted. There's a lot of things that I did back in the day that wasn't right. And it got me offended. I got offended 1,000,000 times in life. Nobody's perfect, and people are going to boss me around till I turn 99. Hopefully I'll be around that time, even if I live to 99 years old. Wouldn't understand what the hell I'm doing. I get to the point when I rap. You know what I'm saying? A lot of rappers don't sound it. A lot of rappers be sounding the same. The same beats, the same lyrics, the same everything to do a remix. You know what I'm saying? Some of these rappers don't know how to spit verses the way they should, you know? I really slept on the new Lil Wayne Carter 6 album. I slept on it. I ain't really give a damn about listening to Lil Wayne or Two Chains or any other rapper that I really dislike. You know what I'm saying? Most of these rappers I really dislike because they never said a dope lyric in their whole entire life. And their career's been blowing up. Some people that try to be in the industry, they get exposed. A lot of rappers want to be popular and think their music is their joints that they really listen to and thinking they're the shit that they love, listen to mumble rap. Because Hot 97 Summer Jam is the hip hop concert for the young people, the young generation. Like they're gonna have hip hop from the millennium. What I think about Fat Joe doing an album, The World Changed on Me, or Dice Peso coming out with an album, that'll be released when Jim Jones signed him to a record deal. I knew Dice Peso way before he was with Jim Jones. I remember before he had a record contract. I knew him, but way before that. Way before. Because like another 10 years from now, he's going to call me a legend. He's probably going to call me a legend some type of way. You know how people could really thinking about what I'm seeing in my own life. How will I see a lot of people really going to respect me? You know what I'm saying? People can't take me for granted. People can't take me for granted. A lot of people are going to respect me in some type of way, the way I feel the situation. A lot of people can't even got it going on for nothing. Remember taking it back to the Notorious B.I.G. when he said, baby, baby. Shout out to Slick Rick the Ruler, dropped another hip hop album called Victory. But I was not in Tribeca in New York to see Slick Rick or Nas. Every time I go to Tribeca, it's a whole different story meeting Nas. It's a different story meeting him. He doesn't even have to take a picture with anybody. And there's people in the game that want to be in their mix, doing what they need to do, making everybody think that nobody could never want to blast off like a rocket ship, and thinking people are not going to be who they want to be for them own selves. But thinking that I went to see Master P and NJ Pack, but I went there in Jersey. I had a hard time coming home that day. Okay, last Friday I went to NJ Pack in Newark, New Jersey. In the next couple of weeks, they're going to have Rock the Bells Festival in the Prudential Center in Jersey, and the show don't start till 6:30 in the evening. You know, a lot of people are going to respect me at concerts, at venues. I just like having a good time and beyond, not on some ghetto shit, but people are going to respect me no matter what. You know, people are going to respect me. People's not going to make me as a poor excuse for what I'm saying. People are not going to respect me no matter what things happen. For the record straight, A lot of dead people are just dead. Human beings could be alive and dead in life. Sometimes you can't trust anybody. People be faking the funk, treating you like you're a nobody. There's a lot of racist people out there that be treating people like a nobody. Well, people that disrespect me and say the most craziest things, the gringiest things that people can say to me is F you and, be disrespected from the beginning and the bottom up or the bottom down or in and out, up and down, high and low. We got to make sure everything is all right, man. People are going to be people in life. You can't disrespect anybody in life. People will crap on you, just like taking a dump in the bathroom. People do it everywhere. It could be on the bus, it could be on the subway station, it could be in the building, it could be outside, it could be anywhere in the world, wherever you go in life. Some people are going to hate. Some people are going to look at you crazy. Some people are going to look to stab you. Some people look to shoot you. But I know it ain't going to happen to me, God forbid. You never know what's going to happen when people come up to you and ask you for change and you ain't got it, and then you get into a fight with somebody out in the street thinking you're not giving them anything, and they're desperate to get what the hell they want. There's people out there very grimy, man. They get very gritty at some point. You know what I'm talking about? My situation goes further with my own self and thinking people are not going to be who they are. People want to act like bullies and take advantage of you in any type of way and say what they say and do whatever the hell they want to do, and making sure that you don't get respect and other people get respect, and people tell you going to hang themselves. Huh. You want to take a dip in the pool and swim with the girls, walking around with bikinis and bathing suits, and thinking you want to feel that you're getting infatuated, looking at the girls' breasts and looking at their butts. A lot of girls going to do you wrong, and there's a lot of fellas are going to get jealous because they got jealous eyes and they want to make you the op. The op is like a real target. People are not going to respect you when you look at their ladies sometimes. Or when you try to touch somebody or you try to give them a hug and they dodge your kisses, they dodge your hugs. And people don't want to do that stuff. A lot of females act like that sometimes. And it happened to me so much that it really turned me down. A lot of beautiful women ain't going to respect you. They'll sell you out and they'll say, get the hell away from me. Some girls be like that. And the guy loses his patience and tells you, would you leave my girl alone? I've been like that before in my life. When I was everywhere, since I was in Orchard Beach, I was bothering girls. And some people didn't respect me of what I did. You know, a lot of men looked at me wrong. A lot of people, said something that I didn't like. Why are you looking at my girl for? They want to talk all that crazy stuff and want to make you the target and blame for what you did, and they want to be a winner and make you a loser. Some people acting like winners because they want to get money just to beat the living crap out of you. And they want to get away with it. They want to get away with it. Even a girl could talk to the police and then come after me and say what they say, get your hands out your pocket, and be talking all that mess when you tell a girl, oh, you look nice. You look beautiful. You look pretty. You look very pretty. I get the thank you. I get the gracias in Espanol. From that time being that I love Latin girls, I don't mean no harm to talk crap to them. I never say the B word to them. I never do that generosity crap. Because when I say it, I know it's wrong when you say the B word to a woman. I'm talking about the bitch word to a lady. Getting infatuated, being desperate to get that woman, and she has a man and you try to rap to her to death, and then she disrespects you, and then she says bye and walks away from you. Some of these women are not good for nothing. They're good for nothing. These ladies are good for nothing. They will feed you criticism till they hurt your feelings. Some of these men and women, some of these grown men and women are going to be willing to hurt your feelings. And they're willing to do that because they don't like you, they don't respect you, they don't love you. They don't care about you, what you do. A lot of people that don't want to listen to my music, I can get it. You don't like my music, listen to somebody else. If you don't like the way I rap, then I don't know what's wrong with these people. Because you don't listen to my hip hop stuff. If you like, first of all, for instance, if you like hip hop and if you like rap and you like the hip hop that's up nowadays, and you listen to mumble rap on Hot 97 and you call it hip hop music. You have the audacity to call it hip hop music. You got to take it back to the essence. You got to buy cassette tapes. You got to buy CDs and vinyls and 45s. You got to buy all that stuff if you want to make it to have your music on all platforms like they do now, than being in a record store back in the day like Nobody Beats the Wiz or Tower Records or Rough Trade or any type of record store you want to go to and make things happen for your own self. You're the one that has to start rapping. You're the one that loves hip hop music. You're the one that has to write lyrics every single day and be in the studio for a lot of hours trying to get your lyrics tight and making the beats properly, make it sounds good. That is so phenomenal for what you want to say on your lyrics. You can rap about anything you want. I'm not telling people to rap about facts. A lot of people want to rap about getting money, girls, the cars, the jewelry. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn if you rapped, if you had $1 trillion in your pocket and you bought yourself a whip. You live in that cash money life because you think you're rich. You see what Puff Daddy went through, that he had all this type of money. He had billions of dollars, and the $1 billion that he spent and did what he wanted when it got himself in a lot of trouble. Got himself in too much trouble that Puff Daddy was in. You know, a lot of things happen in life with the protests, Puff Daddy going to jail, you know, because he beat up Cassidy in a hotel when he was wearing a towel, walking around half naked. I've seen all this stuff. What about that black man that took that little black kid and threw him in the lake, and the police had to make an investigation to look for this little kid that drowned in the water? You know what I'm saying? Didn't care about his son, that he killed his own son. Now he's going to do custody, and they're going to sabotage his life and put this brother behind bars. I really don't even get it, how people are going to be wasting God's time in a jail cell eating dog crap, okay? Like the food is very garbage in prison. I would never eat prison food because some of these chefs that cook in prison don't make any good food. You know what I'm saying? If you was a free man, you could look for any restaurant out and overseas and look to eat a good meal if you enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I don't eat hamburgers every day no more. I stopped eating burgers every day. I don't hardly eat burgers that much. You know what I'm saying? I love eating seafood. I like eating healthy food. I like to eat whole wheat bread with a chicken sandwich on whole wheat bread and enjoy it. You got to put fat-free mayo, or you can put mustard on it, or balsamic sauce that people use in Italian delis like G&R was the best deli I ever ate at. Even I like their sandwiches compared to eating at a Subway restaurant. Compared for what I do is I like to eat heroes. I like to eat healthy heroes. In my own lifetime, that I put my money's worth on it, you know? I get my money's worth eating heroes, but healthy heroes. You know, chicken and turkey is what I eat, and ham and roast beef. You know what I'm saying? Swiss mustard cheese and all that kind of stuff. You really have to have it made for yourself. If you want to lose weight, you know what I'm saying, and just take the right medication. Just exercise your mind off things. Go for a walk. Go listen to music when you're on the treadmill. You know what I'm saying? I slept on the treadmill for a while. You know, the situation with me got me very, very good looking. You know, I'm trying to lose weight. I'm not trying to be a heavy set no more. I know people could have a double chin if they're overweight. You know, like I got a double chin because a lot of people, you know, eat so much they get a heart attack, stroke, or they can die from being overweight. A lot of people could be dead being overweight, like 500 pounds to 700. You know, a lot of people that I can't even move that weigh like about 1,500 pounds, and they can't even get out of bed. They cannot get out of bed. You don't lose the weight when you're 1,500 pounds, you might have to suffer a heart attack and die and be laying in the coffin 16 under. And that's a crying shame to a lot of people. People are not going to respect you if you're overweight. A lot of girls are going to be running away from you. They don't want to eat near you. They don't want to drink near you. You smoke in front of the people. They're going to get upset. They're going to say something. You're going to hear their voice, their mouth. You know, people are going to be doing that for a very long time until the day you're gone, until the day I'm gone. When I smoke these Black and Milds by the bus stop, a lot of people get crazy. A lot of people don't behave. A lot of people don't light it up. You know, the smell is bothering me. I have asthma. You know what I'm saying? I'm coughing so much. Could you get that cigar away from me? Could you get the tobacco product away from me? Could you get the weed away from me? You know, all those type of things that people really want to complain about. A lot of people love to complain. A lot of people complain about a lot of things. People complain about a million things in life. What do you complain about? How would you feel about you're doing something that you're enjoying and people like to make a big issue about it? People like to make a big commotion because you're talking your stuff. You're talking your smack. How people are going to be, you know, putting their dukes up, knocking you down, throwing you on the floor. Some kid on the bus stop told me one time, you smoke in front of my mother and my kid, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. And he really got out of line. He really did. He crossed the line from acting a fool and making me the target. Well, some people, some people are going to smoke and don't smoke. They still get cancer. It can happen to anybody. My grandmother died from smoking back in 2015. 10 years ago, she passed because she smoked for like 6, 7 decades, and the cancer, you know, got to her, and she never made it to see her nephews and niece, my nephews and niece, her great grandkids. She didn't even make it to see her great grandkids. Smoke is bad for a lot of people, not just me, but smoking is bad for a lot of people. You can't tell people to stop smoking. It's up to me to stop smoking. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, a cigarette is a cigarette. A cigar is a cigar. I'm trying to cut back from smoking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are going to smoke. They're going to light up. They're going to smoke. Some people get high off drugs and do cocaine and do marijuana. Yeah, I could never stop smoking. It's a very deadly habit that people have in life. There's a lot of people in New York City be smoking all over the place. They be doing it in public and private places. Because some people, people smoke in an inappropriate area and they're the ones that get caught. A lot of people ain't going to respect you when you smoke in front of them. A lot of people are going to be rude and getting angry and getting complicated for your mind to see that. A lot of people are going to be disrespecting you because you smoked in front of her kids. You smoke in front of their babies. You got to avoid smoking in front of their children because I don't want to smoke a cigar and then the kids come by the bus stop and then the mother kicks me out the bus stop because I'm smoking. I had a few altercations with some old black woman in my life. You know what I'm saying? Some of these black chicks, they be acting like racist people and they want to tell you something to do, like they're your parents. They want to say what they want to say. They think they want to curse you out because you're smoking somewhere and they want to get away with it. Some of these black chicks are not going to respect you. Some white people are not going to respect you. All people in a race will definitely not respect you. Smoking is bad for a lot of people. Okay? If you don't like the smoking, why don't you speak to Philip Morris? If you want me to stop smoking, maybe I can beat the shit out of Philip Morris. Even if I need to do that. I would. But Philip Morris is a tobacco company. Okay? Philip Morris is a tobacco company that lasted for years and years and years. And it still existed, it too. The only thing the way I can stop smoking is get nicotine patches and see how they're going to work for me. Maybe I want to do the nicotine patches, I can't stop smoking right now. It's going to take me time to get it out of my system. It's going to take time, but I don't know when. I would tell God I wanted to stop smoking. I would tell God if I want to stop. I can't stop now. A lot of people want to smoke a cigar. A lot of people want to puff on a cigarette, a Newport, a Marlboro, whatever type of cigarette they be smoking on. I smoked a lot in my times because my ass was very nervous taking all this medication, and it made me want to smoke. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people ain't going to respect you. A lot of people ain't going to respect you when you smoke. A lot of people will respect you if they ask you for a light. Some people in this world will tell you to put the cigarette out. You can't smoke on the bus or subway. I never smoked on the bus or subway. If I would have smoked on the bus and the subway along my name ain't Jason, you know, it's hard to quit smoking for some people. People are going to still do it. Even if when their relatives passed away, they want to puff on a cigarette or a cigar. You know, a lot of people are going to hate in this life. You never know how people are going to act. To see what you do, people are going to push you, punch you, kick you, smack the hell out of you. And you know what I'm saying? People are going to really get angry from the things that you do that people don't even like and respect you for what you do, how the way you do it. There's a lot of people are really crazy in this life. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect in life, man. Nobody could be perfect. There's a lot of things I did that was nice, And there's a lot of things I did was inappropriate and nice, and I was being disrespectful, being on other medications that I was taking back in the past. The way I felt really about myself from smoking, and when people do drugs like smoking marijuana to get them high, and some girls, I've been seeing some girls when they walk their babies in strollers. I'll be seeing girls smoking a cigarette right in front of their kids. I'll be seeing girls smoke a cigarette right in front of their toddlers in the stroller, in their baby carriage. I'll be seeing that so much in life. And some girls are just way too young and they have a baby, they have a child. A lot of kids out in life be screaming and carrying on. There's a lot of kids that be acting crazy in the street. A lot of kids could throw fits and cry their brains out. They can carry on like the world's going to come to an end. They think there's a bomb in the house that's going to blow up, and the kids be sobbing and crying. Yeah. You want to tell them to shut the hell up. Every time I hear a kid cry so loud, I always want to cover my ears. I put the ears very tight. I hold my eardrums very tight because I don't want to listen to that. I didn't want to listen to no kid like when the father be smacking the hell out of the kid on the bus and he cries up a storm. Cries up a storm. This happened like 2 years ago. After I went to a hip hop concert on Hip Hop Boulevard. When I left, I took the 40 bus. It was a long ride home with the 40 bus. You know why? Because I felt bad for the kid. I don't know what he did that was wrong. The father smacked him in the face. I looked at the father. I saw what the father did on the bus. I've seen the activity he did. He abused his little son. He was a baby. He cried. Oh my God. He cried up a storm. And I felt bad. I got mad at the father. I was about to tell him, what is wrong with you? Why did you slap your kid in the face? What did he do to you? Did he hit you first? Did he assault you first? What did that kid do to make the little kid upset and cry and cry and cry and scream and carry on like a mother flower? There's a lot of people are just, don't know how to treat their kids right. A lot of people don't know how to respect their children. There's a lot of people in this life don't know how to treat their kids the way they should treat them, how they want to be treated. Because the kids want to do things, they want to jump, they want to scream, they want to jump like monkeys, like on the monkey bars. And the mother's got to watch them, making sure they don't fall off the swings or the seesaw. And the kids do something and they start crying. I see some kids get really hurt from doing the craziest activity, and the parents not even watching them. Watching with their jealous eyes. Their eyes on something else, and the kid runs, and the kid gets into an accident, and he cries up a storm. Even when the mother took the baby bib out of his mouth and he starts crying up a storm. A lot of kids be crying in restaurants, and it could be very annoying. If I hear a kid crying in a restaurant, you know what I'll do? I'll cancel everything. I'll walk out like a man. I'll cover my ears till I leave the place. Even when a kid gets a haircut in the barber shop and the kid cries because he be thinking the barber shop is hurting the kid getting the haircut. This happened to me like 40-something years ago when my grandfather gave me a haircut. I cried. I screamed. I carried on. And the whole neighborhood heard me because I was crying because I took the haircut. But this happened like 40 something years ago. You know what I'm saying? But those days are over. They're gone. They're vanished. You know? A lot of kids are going to cry when they get haircuts or when they go to the doctor and get injected by the needle that really pinches you. You know, there's a lot of kids I've been seeing crying in the hospital, acting crazy, you know? Especially when I go to urgent care. Especially when that happens to somebody, thinking they're not being legit to themselves. Why would I want to go to a hospital to get myself checked and I hear a lot of kids screaming and carry on in the waiting room? Why would I even think for the fact of a moment that kids are crying and you're like getting overwhelmed and emotional because you're digging deep in your pockets looking for these things and blast the music? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying. You get disputes in the hospitals. You deal with all these altercations. You're the one that has to be a man and ignore the crime, ignore this, ignore that. You can't ignore because the kid is too loud, and you can't even, and you're always distracted, like you're listening to the ambulance siren come down the block, or the fire department making all those noises, or the motorcycle is zooming so fast that he might get into an accident and wind up in the hospital, and you hear those kids crying in the hospital. I've been in the hospital numerous times for good things and bad things. We all do. I was in handcuffs once. I was in handcuffs 25 years ago because I assaulted a staff in my residence. I'm not going to mention his name. That damage was done, and I had to suffer the consequences from all the altercations from family members and all the altercations from living in a group home. Well, this podcast is sponsored by J Funkadelic. This is the Funkable Operator Podcast, episode 41. I'll see y'all again sometime soon. Peace.